start to use it, unmute. Whenever they're using audio.
Hi guys, we're doing a Facebook Live. I'm here in the studio with Tracy McCann, and excited to be able to interview her, and she's incredible. So I just hope you'll stick with us now for the next hour and show her some love and give her some love hearts and likes. And yeah, we have some of the crew in the back here. They're doing a documentary on Tracy. It's all very exciting. So yes, we're going to do the interview and go live now in just a few moments. So
about 40 seconds.
Tracy's going to share her story anyway, and you'll all be blown away just like I was, you know, with her story. Yes. How you feeling? Okay. Good. You're all set up.
15 seconds.
We're moving into.
Better get them.
And then slowly.
Do we need to
46 seconds as well. I'll do a call.
Yeah, almost there now. It's really good. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Karina here on Together FM, and I'd like to welcome you here today on the show. Hope you're all having a good day. I'm going to take you through the next hour with my wonderful guest, who I'm so excited to have on. And this is her first radio appearance, and she is an extraordinary lady. So this is one that I actually feel very privileged and honoured to have her here today in the show, and you will too when you hear her story. I have Tracy McCann on with me today, and Tracy Ella Marie McCann, really, you know, that's what she goes by, in her fantastic book called Recommenced, which totally blew me away. Her story is one that, you know, is just incredible. She's gone through such a journey within her life, and she's inspired me amongst so many people, and she's fantastic, phenomenal. But what she's been able to do has been incredible, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But at the moment, she's a public speaker. She's a best-selling author of this book called Recommenced, which I would totally recommend to anybody. She's a life coach and an NLP practitioner, which is something she's just done recently. But the most extraordinary thing about this lady is that she speaks through a computerized voice box. But to be honest with you, she actually speaks through her eyes, and she tells a story through her eyes. It's like her communication skills are so phenomenal, what she can do. But listen, I would just like to welcome you to the show today, Tracy. Thank you for being here. Yes. And you know what? I know that you can say some things. You've been talking a little bit. You've been actually getting your voice back and get a little bit more confident in that since you started the NLP with our good friend Daniela Serpico. Yeah? Good. So anyway, we're doing a Facebook Live today, and it's exciting because this is Tracy's first one. Well, not Facebook Live, because we've done many of those. But we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to start by talking about your story. And I think that's where we really need to start, because I know at the age of 8, that's when things change for you. And it's hard to comprehend what you had to go through. But I know you're going to share and start there. Is that where you want to start? Great. And this is what you'll be speaking through. If anyone can see, it's a computer, and she has an incredible way with words and incredible communication skills, and she's going to be pressing a few buttons on something that she actually has been able to. Her conversation is going to come through this way. So you'll hear Tracy speaking about her story now. So let's go for it, Missy.
Hi Karina, thank you for having me on today. So this is how I communicate. I use this app in order to give my message as clearly as possible. It actually took me a long time to feel comfortable using this, because I didn't like the sound of the voice. As a matter of fact, I still don't, but I have learned to look at it differently as I now realize its importance. This app has given me another form of voice. It has also allowed me to do live Facebook videos, and also my public speaking events. It is because of this app that I am able to go on the radio without relying on someone to talk on my behalf, which I don't like. I love being as independent as possible. I do have a verbal voice, but it only comes out when I am in a relaxed environment and feel comfortable enough to let go. It requires a lot of effort, but I have really been pushing myself lately to use my own voice with confidence. I have recently made a number of live videos with myself just talking, no computer, which is a huge step, but I am embracing it all. Nothing ever changes if you are not willing to let go and make the necessary change. I want to keep moving forward and be the best that I can, because I feel that I have so much good to give. People always say to me that I am always smiling, but believe me, I am not always happy. I, like everyone else on this planet, have my negative moments. However, I want to portray myself as someone who is always happy, as opposed to someone who always moans. I would not be where I am today if I went around with a big moany face on me. I can at home but not in the real world. People always question why I look so happy. How can I smile, given my everyday challenges and the fact that my disability came on me so young? But my reply to those questions is this: what is the point going around full of envy, hurt and anger? It does not resolve anything. It only makes you feel so much worse. Your negative situation will not change overnight, so why add to it? Life is so much better when you are smiling, even if all you want to do is curl up. We all have only one life, so it is our responsibility to make the best with what we have. If something is not right in your life, fix it. If you cannot fix it, then find a way round it and continue on a positive and fulfilling path. This is your life. How are you going to choose to embrace that fact?
Absolutely. My God. Incredible words. I have to say, you're so positive and optimistic, and I know this is it. You have had, so many dark moments and times where, you didn't know where to turn, and you have been you've put on such a great front. I'm sure there has been so many times where you've not known, how to deal with the situation and how to deal with things, and for your voice to be taken away with you at such a young age. Has brought you in dark places, and I know that what you've come through has been extraordinary, and you are so optimistic, and you've trained yourself and you've done so many different great things, and you've accomplished such a huge amount, so that is quite extraordinary, really, and we all look at you and think how happy and how happy-go-lucky you are, and you do put on a great smile, but you do have your moments, and I know that can be difficult. You have a great support as well, because I know you have a fantastic partner in crime, shall we say, Patrick Hogan, who is he's your boyfriend. Yeah, he's your boyfriend. Shout out for Patrick. But he's not just your boyfriend. He's been a tremendous support to you for your career, because you're a career, business-orientated lady now. You really are, and you're really focused on inspiring others with your story, and he's really helped support you in that as well. And so many people that love you and care about you, and you've had that support as well, which has really, really helped. I have another question for you. It's I think we're going to actually we have a little song first of all. Do you want a little break for a song? I think it's one of your songs you quite like. It's a Rona Keating song. It's You Say It Best. I'm sure there must be a reason behind this. I'm sure Patrick will tell us, will he? Any questions at all, we love to answer them. So we're going to take a little break for a song. You okay? You're doing great. Yeah. Brilliant. I got a bit lost because I hadn't got my questions here.
Yeah, no, we were having,
I was going, please, come in the door, with the
we
questions.
were having issues because she couldn't find the document after she downloaded it,
Yes.
and then the printer wouldn't connect properly.
Oh,
There's
really,
issues with the drivers.
One of the things that could happen in one day.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you have to be authentic. Isn't that what our friend Daniela Serpicos told us all about? Be authentic.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And I said, I know you have your conversation, what you wanted to say today. And I have my questions on what will prompt you into the next one, you know. And I suppose I've deviated. I've gone into other things and talked about other things, but it's but I've gotten to know so much about you. You know what I mean? And it's from following you and seeing exactly what you're up to. And I suppose I've met you through that Women's Empowering Summit, Donna Kennedy's incredible summit. That I saw you stand up there. I'm going to talk about that as well because that's when I really just thought, my God, it's incredible, you know, you're a fantastic writer. You know, you really are. You're amazing. I sat. Did you read this book, girls? This book here, Recommenced. I actually sat through this book here, guys. Anybody looking? Recommenced. It's just extraordinary. It goes from it tells you about the happy-go-lucky little girl you were, and then how that was taken away from you. And I cried through so much of this, but also I laughed. And I felt so inspired and so incredible. It just covered so many different aspects of a book that you want to have. You know what I mean? So I think it's remarkable. Yeah, it's really brilliant for anyone out there. So I don't know if anybody's listening in now. Maybe you give a few likes to our Tracy here, a few likes and loves, and any questions. We'd love to answer them. We're doing a Facebook Live here, so there's loads of people watching in now. Oh, Patrick, there's your Patrick there. Hi, Alexander, Patrick Hogan, Alexander, okay. Hi, guys, Glory Ann, Sandra, Sandy Jane, Highland, hi there, guys. Okay, if you was anyway, we could be here. I know we're doing this documentary as well. This is something actually that we're going to talk about as well, and maybe might bring one of the girls on later on. Tracy's been asked to do a documentary, and it's very exciting. The guys are following you around. So we have Flavia and we have Catherine in the studio as well, and they've been following Tracy's journey and talking about all the things that she's kind of accomplished. Yes.
Is it just the machine, or is mic 5 necessary? Because if it isn't, I can move it out of the way.
Well, what we might do is if Catherine or Flavia is going to go on here, what we might do is just this one's working okay, isn't it?
Yeah, that's being used for the laptop. Yeah.
Oh, for the laptop, because then what we might do if when the laptop's not being used, then we'll just Catherine can take or Flavia can take the mic over there and she can just use that.
Okay.
Would that be okay, or do you think we need another mic?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're changing guests, you can just exchange the same mics.
Yeah. No, Tracy will stay where she is. I just think that this one might be the one that we might manoeuvre. Catherine, you might be able to grab that mic. Is the song over?
50 seconds.
Oh yeah, it's all good. Oh look.
No. Like alternatively, you can throw someone onto mic 2 if they want to just jump around and jump.
Yeah.
Around
Okay.
So actually go. Just keep it muted for now. Just on mute. 3 and 4, yeah. Just for now. So yeah, cool in 10 seconds now.
Welcome back. We're in the studio here. It's Karina here on Together FM, and I'm here in the studio with my amazing guest Tracy McCann, and she's sharing her story, and she's just amazing. I just want to just throw in actually how I met you, because I met you only a few months back at an event which was incredibly empowering event. It was organised by Donna Kennedy. It's the Women's Inspiring Summit. And Empowering Summit, Women's Empowering Summit. And I have to say, it was just an incredible event. It brought all these amazing women together, and the inspiration, the positivity in the room was fantastic. But you stood up there and you blew us all away. You've got an incredible way with words, and way you actually spoke to us all, and you shared your story with everybody, and you talked so much about, how much you've come through and how positive and how optimistic you are about life, and your life. By going through what you had to go through, it taught you so much about the person you wanted to be, and the possibilities that are there, and the opportunities are still there and have been presented to you along the way. You've had this huge amount of support from so many, and you just inspired us all so much. But it just brings me into the next question, which is you have this such a very positive outlook of life. But like, I know that wasn't always okay. Considering what happened to you, we just want to really hear your story. So maybe you'd tell us.
Well, from a young age, I was a very dramatic, loud, and cheeky child. I did enjoy school. I felt I was more myself in school and around other people. At times, I was, however, quiet, so quiet in fact that you would hardly know that I was there. But then I would let loose, and would suddenly become a loony bin. I wouldn't, and couldn't shut up. I would be like two very different people, all rolled into one. I loved being creative, and would spend hours doing art, writing stories and having time to myself, living in my own world, in my head, all thanks to my powerful imagination. I was a very happy little independent girl. I loved to laugh and enjoy my youth. I had so many fun memories with my family. My early life was good, until it changed dramatically within a short space of time. I was struck with a sudden and life-changing disability known as rapid onset muscular dystonia. In more or less a few days, I went from being an able-bodied child to a child locked in an extremely painful and constant spasm, unable to communicate or do anything for myself. It was very challenging. I have improved a great deal through my commitment and dedication. I have had to work so hard and constantly pushed myself physically and mentally on getting my body to relax. I have retrained myself to do simple tasks such as feeding and dressing. I have learned to adapt. I have also worked hard on discovering my true purpose, what it was I was meant to do in this world, which was even harder, as I am sure some of you can all relate to. For years, I also went through times of social isolation.
Wow. It must have been so hard on you, Tracy.
It was, throughout those early and difficult times, a lot of people would turn their back on me. I had so many so-called friends who used me and put me in really bad situations. I felt so alone, angry, frustrated, empty, and as though I was wasting away. I was scared as to what my future would look like. All that I wanted was to feel accepted, and that I mattered. So, I made a decision that changed my life. I empowered myself mentally with positive messages that I was good enough, and that I was going to do something that would make a difference to someone's life, even if it was just one person. This was my life's path. I have always had this inner belief that I would eventually break free. I could, and would, succeed at reaching for the stars.
Oh my God, Tracy. You certainly have done that, you know. You've reached for the stars, and you're a star to me and to everybody else, you know. You just are. You just shine. If there's anyone can, if I can just put a word on it, you just shine. You know, it just shines through you. And I'm just so proud of you, and I'm sure your family must be so proud of you as well. You know, but it's incredible where you've been and what you've come through, and how you've trained yourself and surrounded yourself with those positive messages. And that's so true. And I think that's something that we all need to be reminded of, no matter what place we are in our lives, no matter how bad things can be. You know, there's so much we can do to make things better. And we're given a life to live, and we should make the most of that life, because we all have the ability, and there's ways that we can actually change our lives and really come through really bad, difficult situations. And you're a prime example, the perfect example of what it is to overcome every obstacle. You know, really is incredible. I know this is a song we're going to play now, and it's really one that you've used a lot, and I have to say I love it myself. If anyone has seen The Greatest Showman, it's an incredible movie, and it's an amazing song. It's This Is Me, and this is a song that you really love, and it's very apt for you. So enjoy the song. We'll be back in a moment. Brilliant. You're doing great.
Well,
Brilliant. Very moving, isn't it?
Yeah, that's something else. That's, wow. I mean, Because I've seen a lot of people who claim to be advocating for
Thanks,
certain
guys, for your-
purposes and
all your love hearts
and
and
pushing women empowerment. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for that. But they make all these brash claims that they're doing it for women, and it turns out they're not. This is a perfect example of someone who's actually gone through that hardship, who's gone through something that's stood in the way of living like anyone else. And instead of looking towards other women and saying, please help me, you've actually just gone, no, I'm going to help myself. I'm going to empower myself, and I'm going to fight through this. And that's, I mean, if that's not inspirational, nothing is.
And her message is not just for women, it's for men as well. So.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
of course, yeah.
you're borderline perfect human being.
Yeah. There you go. What's the borderline all about? She is. No,
Well,
but there you go. It is incredible.
Yeah, it really, it absolutely is. Like, I've had an issue where I haven't actually been able to cry since I was 18. That nearly put me in tears.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible.
Oh,
And I'm
that's
actually going to say this now. Thank you for that.
Aw.
Absolutely, thank you for that. That was.
Oh, we sure we can't record this now as well?
I haven't recorded it.
Oh, God.
You're on camera now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Can't
can
really
sign.
see
You
but
can
it's
sign
back
something to
room.
say it's
Don't put the
okay.
camera on the, don't put the camera on the two of us trying
No,
to figure out
you're hidden behind that mic. You're okay, Paul. You're
You
hidden.
can't see it, you can't see it.
Well, we can hear the voice, you know, and it'd be good to kind of put that in as well. That's really, really a lovely thing to say, because like that's the truth of it. Is sometimes, you know, Tracy can bring that out to somebody and make them feel that way about themselves, that they can actually, you know, open up and you know, it really is. It's very touching. I have to say, I was in tears when I heard you that time at that summit. I actually thought, my God, this is incredible. You know, and I think that the documentary that's been done now, I think that this will be fantastic to see, because especially for anyone that's going through any sort of special, you know, they have any sort of, you know, any sort of condition at any type, you know, or any sort of special needs, and to look at somebody who's coming through that and has found ways to cope and deal with it, you know, and that you're just an ambassador for those people. You really are. And it's just extraordinary. When we come back, I have a question. How do you deal with the constant struggle of not being able to speak? Okay, so we'll go into that one. I think, you know, we've got a few more questions, and then what we'll do is might get one of you guys. Which would you like? Would you like to go in, Fav? Or yeah, great.
We're kind of we've born through the second song in like the 20-minute mark. So if you want, we can throw another song up on YouTube.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just record it directly from YouTube.
What's the Hall of? So we have the Hall of Fame is another song. Do you mean an extra song, or
Yeah, if you need one.
if we need one? Yeah, we might not. No, I'd say we'd be okay. So how we do? We might need another one. So what sort of song would you think? Any of the songs that you might?
You Raise Me Up comes to mind.
You Raise
to be
Me Up.
honest.
There you go. You Raise Me Up. Oh my God, you'll have
No,
us all in
it's kind of
tears. It is,
stereotypical,
isn't it?
but,
Okay.
you know,
Do you like that song? You Raise Me Up. Yeah, good. We'll go for that one. Brilliant. Okay. You Raise Me Up.
No,
I love
we're coming
that
10
song,
10
it's
seconds now,
gorgeous.
so.
Okay.
Great. Welcome back to the show. It's Karina here on Together FM, and I am interviewing my fabulous guest here today, Tracy McCann, and she's talking all about her incredibly inspirational story. And every time I meet her, you know, I'm just feel my day gets better and better. She just ignites something in people and makes them feel really good about themselves, and she just inspires you to want to do the best and be the best you can be. And that's a magical thing that not many people actually are able to do, and that's a power that you actually hold. And it's something that you share and you put out there, and you know, you're so proud and stand tall. But I'm going to ask you another question, and it's how do you deal with the constant struggle of not being able to speak?
Well, while I am not verbally talking, there are many different ways of communicating. Years ago, I wanted to give up and thought to myself, what's the point in me being here? It's too painful to deal with these negative thoughts daily, swimming around in my head, and to face the world. But just as the song that was played a moment ago suggests, this is me. That is the decision that I made all those years ago. Like me or hate me, this is me. I am determined, I am motivated, I am me. You can love me for who I am, or not, I am not going to apologize.
Very good. We don't need to apologise. Amazing. Oh, okay, so as well, these are great questions, by the way, because I asked you to put some questions together, you know, that are going to prompt your answers. So I want to know, you're a best-selling author, which is quite extraordinary. It's an amazing book about your story and where you are today and where you've come through. You're a life coach and a disabled advocate, and I know you're a public speaker, which is fantastic. And so what message would you like to share with other listeners out there?
As I have expressed in my book, and at my events, my message is this: you must be proud of what you have achieved so far, and proud of what you will achieve in your life. If any of you are faced with people who try to put you down and bring your ambition down to their level, remember these 3 words and shout them from the rooftops: this is me. Because no matter how high that mountain seems, or how wild the river gets, if you feel the cloud that is hanging over you will never lift, then remember this: your situation will not stay like that forever. In those tough times, always think of the positive, and mentally force yourself to focus in on just that. Know this too: you are amazing, beautiful, strong and empowered. Tell yourself this every day, embrace this fact, own who you are and be proud of yourself. I am so proud of myself. I am now doing what I know that I am meant to do, finally. As previously stated, I am now a best-selling author, public speaker and many other things. If any of the listeners would like me to give a talk, be it at a school, a company, a college or to any group of people who need a nudge in the right direction, then I would love to hear from you. Please get in touch with me through my website, which can be found at www.tracyellenmaria.ie. I want to try and help as many people as I can. This is, and always has been, my passion. Thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed my interview, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Brilliant. I love it. Fair play. Brilliant. My goodness. I love it. Brilliant. Love it. And listen, I want to say as well on that note, okay? I want to say on that note, which I'm so proud to announce as well, Anua Academy. You are you're an advocate for an ambassador for Anua Academy, which is our mental health program that will be launching now soon, and we're delighted and excited to have you involved. We have a huge big team involved, but we always felt that there'd be somebody really special that can, you know, be an advocate for people who have a disadvantage of, you know, but there's certainly no disadvantage in you anyway. You're just so full of love and fun, you know. But I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get one of the girls to hop in, because we're doing a documentary on you. But these girls are doing a documentary on you, and they've been following you and your story and for a few months now. So I think it's Flav we're going to actually have on camera, and she's going to just talk a little bit about, I don't know, do you want to hop in here maybe, or?
Do you want me to record it? Or?
Do is, if you want.
Yeah, well, here we go. Sorry, Flav, you hop in there. Now I know we got this camera rolling, so sorry. Okay, sorry, Flav.
Right.
It's a bit of a tight studio.
Went on there.
We have the camera there, so we might get you on camera there as well. Hi guys, still with us? There we go.
I've no fear of the camera, so I
Love the camera.
I'm in front of it actually rather than behind.
So now, Flav, yes, love to hear about you know, the journey you've taken with Tracy so far. When did this all start?
Well, I met Tracy 2 years ago. We love going to personal development events, and we ended literally sitting down on the same table for lunch. Myself, my partner, Tracy, and Patrick, and we just started talking. And Patrick told us that she was writing the book and all her story, and at that time I was studying film production. So I said, oh my God, that's an amazing story. I would love to make a documentary about that because I'm passionate about documentaries. And she was like, yeah, let's do it. When are we starting?
Tracy's up for anything.
Yeah, so a few months later, we started meeting up. I tried to know more about her story. She was still like writing the book, and I said, yeah, let's do it. And after Catherine got on board, Catherine is a friend of Tracy, and she helps Tracy with her promotional videos, Facebook Lives as well. So I said, let's do it.
Yes, Catherine, get over here and say hello. Catherine's on the other camera now, and she's actually recording this. But this is, how long is when did the documentary start then?
Well, we started last year.
Yeah,
We have been a few months
a few months out of brilliant,
filming. Yeah,
brilliant, great.
we have like a long way to go, but we're there trying to get as much footage as we can and to tell all her story.
Well, this is amazing because Tracy's done so much over the past year. Incredible amount you've done. You know, I suppose you followed her through the NLP and the different talks she's done, the sorts of different public speaking events and everything, you know. And there's been a lot that she has done, so there's quite a lot of coverage, I'm sure you have in it.
Yeah, it's amazing, and she really motivates people to do things. She helps us as well. Sometimes when we are like, oh my God, it's so difficult to make a documentary, she's like, no, you know, she pushes. 2 months ago we were doing a race with her as well. Tough Mother, and yeah, we couldn't run like even a mile, but she was like, no, come on girls, let's train, let's do it. So she's kind of, we are her team now, so we're going everywhere, and it's amazing. It's an amazing journey. We're learning loads. We're enjoying as friends as well, so it's good.
Yeah, it's incredible. And this is the thing, I wonder where she'll be next. She'll probably be out there worldwide. You know, I can actually see her getting some sort of worldwide exposure now as well. Because I don't know, as I said, you know, for someone not to have an actual voice, she has even tried. Do you know what it is actually? I know she's always, you know, I've seen you actually doing a lot of videos lately on the NLP, and you actually discover, you actually do, you've probably stopped speaking because you felt you couldn't. And sometimes that's another thing you're kind of overcoming a bit. You actually can say some things. You're actually coming out and you're getting that confidence to kind of to bring yourself to that point. And I can imagine, you know, more practice now you'll be able to say some more things. So
yeah, and if you think that language is the 7% of communication, we communicate with our body, with our face, with your eyes. So she's very expressive. Sometimes you can just understand what she's trying to say just the way she looks at you.
I love that you say that, because that is so true. That's exactly it.
And she's so funny as well. She can tell you like funny jokes without saying it.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
So she really, that's one thing that is amazing about her. She can transmit everything she wants.
Yes.
And sometimes she puts those limitations about language by herself, but that's not a problem.
No. And the more you do, the more confidence you're getting. And the more, you know, like you're just enjoying this so much. You know, and you just see the happiness and the enjoyment and satisfaction and all this. And this is a really big thing for you today, because this is like your first ever radio interview as well, you know. So first of many, I would say, Tracy, you know, and I'm just so honoured to have you today. But I know Catherine's been a friend of yours for some time now. And Flavia's been working with Catherine. I'm going to put Catherine on screen now as well. Get you into this, you know. Catherine's going to talk now.
Can I just change the battery?
Oh yeah, change your battery there, yes. But Catherine's been a friend of yours for some time, so she'd know a lot about Tracy, and I'd love to get Catherine in here now. You can just tell us a bit about Tracy. Tell her all her bad habits and her secrets. Move in there, give them away, because we're doing a Facebook Live.
Hello everybody, yes, I love Facebook Lives. Yeah. Here I am. Make sure you remember my face. I'm not really joking. I'm joking though, it's not about me.
Move yourself into the mic there.
Right into it, yeah.
So how long have you known Tracy?
About a year, I think it is at this stage. We met at Amanda Delaney. Do you know Amanda Delaney?
I do, absolutely.
Yeah, at I Can and I Will. No, it wasn't this the talk. It was, she was meeting Red Cow, I think, with a few business people. I don't know whether you were, when Tracy was there, obviously, that day, and Dan Ram, you know, I Am Dan, have you seen him? Daniel Ramamurti.
Oh,
or
I
something.
do know.
Yeah, you
Yes,
probably know
yes,
him
yeah.
as well. He was giving
Yeah.
a talk that day.
Mm.
So I think it was my first
What's your
time there,
sound here?
maybe second time. Sorry, am I too far away from here?
No, you're fine, you're fine.
Yeah, I usually talk a lot, so I have to keep waiting the microphone because I go on and on. But yeah, he was giving a talk at Amanda Delaney's meeting. You know, they used to have a meet for a bit of lunch, and different business owners giving tips to each other, all that kind of thing. So I think it was my first time there, or second, I'm not sure. And we all had to introduce ourselves and that, you know. So Tracy was one end of the table and I was the other. And obviously I train people with disabilities and that, you know. So I think after the talk was over, she kind of, as Tracy does, got straight talking to me. And even though I was the way, she was over that corner, I was this corner, and she managed to, I don't know if it was through Amanda, to talk to me. And I went over beside her and she just texted, and that was it, you know. And she came, it was lashing rain that day, and she had
She's a
travelled.
great networker, this one, isn't she?
Oh God, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
unbelievable.
Yeah, she was straight in talking. Obviously, because you know I work with people with
Yes.
disabilities, so she obviously heard that.
Yeah.
I didn't know Tracy at all. Like, you know, I didn't know who she was, and it was lashing rain that day, as it is today in Ireland. And I was, as soon as I heard she was from Ballymun, I said, I'm only down the road in Coolock. And I said, how did you get over here? Because it was in the Red County, Nace Road, you know, so she would have to get into town and out here. And I was just blown away by that, because I just hop in my car and get down the road. So I said, I'll give you a lift home, because I'd be like that, you know, give people lifts. So that's it. We went home and I talked for Ireland, and it was weird in the car as it is. Even I'm getting more used to it. Obviously, I know her a year now at this stage. Because I talk so much, it's fine. But then you're waiting for somebody to talk to you, and the silence. I had to get used to the silence, which I found.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I can't explain it. You know, to have the silence. You know the way you might have an awkward silence, but now as I get to know Tracy, I realise it's not an awkward silence. You know, be quiet, Catherine. Stay quiet. Because I, like her, was a yapper. I'm a yapper. You know, and love talking. So that she kind of taught me to be quiet. You know, in that way, to let the silence just be there, which is, you know, okay as well. I think it's very important to listen and just be silent. So yeah, that's it. And her personality comes through. And I've a personality. We love having a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And I did some of her promotion videos for the book launch. And I remember we were up in the apartment. It was the first time in our apartment. Patrick was there, and we had done a few. We changed our clothes and stuff like that, you know, because we had to pretend it was different days we were filming on. It's a little secret we're letting into, you know. It was done all in the one day, not in a few days. And here it is. I remember near the end of it, like, it was quite hard work. You had to stop and start, put our makeup on, you know, change clothes, and same thing, issues with batteries and stuff as we have now. And I remember near the end, something about you're thirsty or something like that, and I went to say it and stopped myself from saying it, and then I said, feck it, say it, that's, you know, who I am. And I went, well, it's not from the talking. And she just broke her heart laughing, and so did I, because I kind of went, oh, she might get insulted if I say that, you know, it's not from the talking. That's my personality. I love just saying it as it is. And she just, as she does, fell around the place laughing. And here I was, oh my God, thank God she laughed.
Yeah, I know.
That she wasn't insulted.
But
you
that's
know.
it, exactly. She takes it on the chin, and she's
Oh,
just
God,
like,
yeah,
she just
you know,
laughs. She's a great one for the laughing. That's one thing she does very loudly.
Yes, exactly. You can hear her now.
You can hear her before you see her.
It's brilliant to laugh. I love laughing. I love having fun. So that's it. You know, we kind of hit it off from there. I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, we just connected. You know, once somebody has a bit of personality and a bit of sense of humour, that's it. You know, that's all you need, I think.
Absolutely. And where do you see now the documentaries? You're following her journey, her story, and where she's going, the different events she's at. Where do you see, you know, suppose you'll have all this content then, and you'll look to put the documentary together then, and then just pursue that and see where you can actually take it.
Yeah,
So
I want to go to the Ellen
would you like to go?
DeGeneres. Want to get her on that show. We said it today, and they're looking at me like, that's mad, but aim for the stars, aim for the sky.
Absolutely,
As high as you can go. Get on the Late Late Show.
Yeah.
I was on the Radar C audience. You just apply, and seemingly there's criteria to get on the Late Late Show, and the same at Ellen DeGeneres. Seemingly you go in. I haven't done it. You know, go in on their websites and find out, but we'll find out. You know,
we'll get you into the States yet.
Yeah, of course.
Ireland, first of all, the Late Late Show would be a good
Show,
one.
yeah.
So.
You know,
Ray Darcy, if you're out there.
Ray Darcy, exactly. Yeah.
This is the woman over here, Tracy.
Yeah.
You want to be
interviewed. She's a great story to tell, and I suppose people interviewing it, like maybe yourself, you're interviewing, like, you know, trying to talk and people answer your questions, you know, and because you have a bit of silence, you have to get used to that. And,
of course,
you know, I'd imagine in TV and radio, like, you know, you're used to people coming in. Because I remember being on the Ray Darcy show last week, it was 2 weeks ago in the audience, and they said as the guests come on, keep clapping. Because if we just clap, for a few minutes and they're still walking on, it's an awkward silence.
Yeah.
You don't think of these things, you
Yeah.
know, and the same with Tracy, and I think some people get a bit awkward with that, probably in the media maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not saying maybe they don't, but I can just imagine, it would be, you have to wait, and then if she has the recording, you have to wait for that to play and stuff.
That's
and it's
it.
just a bit of getting used to, I'd say, for interviewing and that,
they and cameras. I know the Late Late Show would be a good one for her as well. Really, would be great. Anyone listening in, but anyway, I think yes, give her
What's
a
his
shout.
name? Ryan Tuberty. Hello.
Ryan Tuberty is the
You
man.
tweet him, maybe get tweet. That's usually the way
yes.
to get to people.
Well, now we have the recording as well, but I
Yeah.
think we really were doing a Facebook Live, and I know we can put some of the recording up of this show as well. But I think it's once you have the prompt and you have on the camera, they have the questions to ask. Like I've had questions to ask today.
I suppose, yeah, that's true.
And it's very flowing. And I think that, your story is something that everybody needs to hear, because you don't know who's going to be affected by your story. You don't know who you're going to inspire. And there's somebody out there that's struggling, that hasn't maybe got a voice, not just because of a special need, because they've had something's happened to their life, because they feel they've lost their voice, because they feel they're not being heard, because they feel depressed or sad or anxiety or whatever the case may be. And because they have these feelings that they've lost their sense of self-worth and they don't know where to turn. And to hear your story is for them. You're representing a voice for everybody, because everybody has a right to a voice and everyone has a right to be heard. And your representation, you represent everybody out there. And I'm so proud of you for all you've accomplished and all you represent. And I know everybody is, and I think that it's incredible, So.
Yeah, it is. Even when I read the book, and I don't have a physical disability as such, but I think we all have in our own way. I identified, and I was surprised at myself that I identified with Tracy, but we all have that kind of blocks in our mental health and ways to deal with it. And she says that in the book, she gives you steps, don't you, in the book, and tips to do, which helps people, that maybe mightn't have thought of that, but but I was surprised at myself that I identified with her, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well, you know what I mean, everybody else, because we all have our own story and we have our stuff, but
that's it.
And it is all about your mental health and getting over that. You can go into depression, which Tracy did at some stage, but it is you, as she said earlier on. It's inside you. You have to get yourself out. Nobody else outside, or no thing outside. like drink, alcohol, Irish, what we like. That's our psychiatrists. A lot of people, they go and drink, and just dull the emotions. But it is you that needs to deal with it. It's inside you. You can have all the wealth and that on the outside. If you're not right on the inside, it doesn't matter. So, and Tracy kind of, shows that in her book, and that it's a real turn page. You keep turning pages because you want to know what's next, and that kind of thing.
Like at the end of the day, like when I read the book, I have to say, reading, the start was very difficult. Like the happy-go-lucky little girl that you were, such passion and such great. Like you're back to being that little girl now, because you're so childlike, you're so full of energy, full of love, spontaneity, and you said you're creative and you're just so out there, which is wonderful. But when I read the start of the book, I have to say that to hear of this little girl at 8, you went into a situation where your body went into like a spasms, and the pain that you had to go through and the condition that you had created a muscular sort of you couldn't move your body properly, and your voice went. And I can't imagine a child having a voice and then to lose it. I can't imagine how that must have been for you. It's hard to comprehend. I have a little girl myself who's 11, and to lose that, and you ended up in a hospital bed for so long, and everybody was trying to investigate and wondering what was wrong with you, what happened. Nobody could recognize, any of the doctors, they didn't know what was wrong, what was the case. And you were hospitalised, and you were just in that bed looking out the window and just feeling completely stuck in a body that you couldn't move properly, you couldn't talk, and you couldn't express yourself. And how that must have been for you. And I swear to God, it was so upsetting to read that. But then reading throughout the book and hearing how you managed to get through that, I think everyone should read this, I really do. Recommenced as your book, and your story, and where, what you had to get through and go through as a child. And I know there's so many children out there that feel that they don't have a voice because they're trapped in another situation. Maybe they're not, it's not because of a disability, disabling sort of condition, but because maybe they're in a bad place, maybe they just feel like they're not being cared for, they're being neglected, or whatever's going on, or else they're struggling with bullying or anything out there. And I think that so many children, you represent, you know, those children, because those children are the ones that feel trapped as well, you know. So I just think that it's remarkable, but anything is possible, and that's really what we're coming from here, you know. The possibilities are endless for what you can do. Obstacles you have to get around, and you know, whatever happens in your life, you can see them as challenges, and you either take it and lie down, or else you can get up and you can just move on and just, you know, find ways to get over that. And everyone will have challenges. I know yours were quite extreme at a young age, but what you've come through, and I'm doing an awful lot of talking here, you know. I feel like saying, is there any more recording?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking of a mention to Tracy's mother, you know, what she went through, and never mind her brothers and her stepfather, but her mother was inspiration, you know, in like very similar personalities, but what she did and how she was, they were looking at her as if she had done something wrong, and how as a mother, you know, thinking that way, and she couldn't see Tracy while she was in hospital on her own without somebody there, and that must have been so, I would have gone mad. I don't know how that woman kept her in, you know, and having to deal with her daughter, you know, this life-changing thing. So Philo, we have to hands out her
incredible
shout out
mother.
to her.
Absolutely.
Incredible, you know,
incredible
woman
mother.
that had to deal with that. You know, I know Tracy gets her strength, I think, from her mother. You know, you're very similar. As she says in the book, they nearly killed each other. But I think that's just the strong personalities. But I think only for your mother.
Your mother fought for you.
She fought for you, yeah. Fair play to her.
And your stepfather as well.
Oh yeah, he's
they
very
were
good.
fantastic support to you, and I think that, you know, that really makes all the difference, doesn't it? You know, so.
Yeah, having support is very important as well. I know we say we should do it ourselves and it's inside, but you need a bit of support. You need a bit of people that, you know, help you along the way, and whoever that is, could be friends, could be relatives, you know, whatever. But we all need that support and that kind of uplift to keep us going.
We do, absolutely. My goodness. So, Janie Mac, it's been incredible having you on the show today. We're going to probably, I don't know, you know, we should talk a little bit about, you know, how do we, anybody out there that wants to find out more about Tracy, I think you mentioned the website. On the website now, we'll give some information on what you've been doing as well, what you've been up to, and they'll, you know, and then you've got a Facebook page as well. So Tracy McCann, if anybody wants to check Tracy out, check her up on Facebook, and you'll see all the different sorts of the journey she's been on, and all the different events, and what she's been talking about, what she's been doing. And also her website, which is www.tracyellenmarie.ie. So yeah, I just think it's another. We're going to have another song on actually, and it's "You Raise Me Up," and I think it's such a great song, and tells us a lot about the person that you are. So let's have that one. "You Raise Me Up" by. Oh right, okay.
Was it Wesley?
Josh
Josh
Groban.
Groban.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah.
Josh Groban version, because I don't know. I thought,
Oh, is it? Yeah, was it? Just think of Westlife, but I think he was the original, wasn't he? Or one of the original, maybe.
Okay, how are we getting on? Is there any questions there? Anybody? Brona's on the line. So Brona's a friend of yours, isn't she? Brona Lyons.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I know Brona as
Brona
well, yeah.
and Sandra, and I don't know if there's any questions there.
Hong Kong, isn't